Alright boys, how is everyone doing? It is your boy FPL Josh and welcome back to another deadline stream. Well, I say deadline stream, deadline's tomorrow, but this will most likely be my deadline stream today, as I will most likely not be able to stream tomorrow. So we'll call it a deadline stream today. Nice weather for it as well, it's actually warm in the UK for once, so that's nice. Pretty much just going to go over the team. Obviously, small change, I've put updated because there is a small change. I've updated the keeper from Ariel to Turner, not a big change. Diaby's still there, Chilwell's still there. Surprisingly, I've got Anderson still there. Alvarez has stayed in the team as well. I'm still iffy about whether I'm going to go Matoma or not, so that's something we'll talk about today. Because I'm not sure at the minute. It's a bit of a sore subject whether I'm going to go Matoma or not, because he is like 40% owned. So there's that factors into a lot of things, is the fact that he is 40% owned. And that could be a massive thing, Matoma being 40% owned. Massive. If he goes and pops, let's say, a double digit haul, couple goals, then the rank's going to be very affected if Matoma starts popping off, so I am going to have to watch that. But I just think, with João Pedro, does it cover the Brighton attack enough that I don't need Matoma? And then not having Matoma would allow me to go with differential? And probably go, let's say, Mbeumo, which I think Mbeumo's a differential personally at the minute. Just with how low owned he is now that he's been flagged, but he's not injured because he's been in training and he's on penalties, so I think he might be able to just edge over Matoma just because he's only 10% owned. And at the start of the season, I'm trying to gain as much rank as possible. So I do want to try and be safe, just make sure I don't go down the ranks a lot. But at the same time, I want to try and make sure I gain as much rank as possible. But I do like to start the season off pretty steady. So if I can start it off steady, then preferably that's better. But we'll have to see how we do, to be honest, because it's a bit of an iffy one. I don't think we're doing too bad though, to be honest with you, this year. The way the team looks, I think we're going to have a very, very strong start to the season. Assuming my points pay off and players play in form they was before the pre-4 season, then we're going to be looking pretty decent. Obviously, I'm saying now, we'll have most of everyone in by 6. Fabio's not in yet, but Fabio's not going to be here till after 6. We have got some more mods coming in later, guys. Also, we're going to review some teams today. And also, while I'm here, I'm thinking of maybe doing, just on deadline days, just only on deadline days, that are like a Friday night, deadline, let's say 6 o'clock, I'll be doing team reveals on the deadline. So we're going to do certain days where I'm going to do team reveals, and if people want to come on air on Discord and do the voice call and discuss the team, discuss their opinions and whatnot, we're going to be starting to do that because I think it involves you a lot more. It's more interactive. I don't just have to sit and go through your team. I like doing that, speak to you about it through the chat, but a personal conversation about your team, why you've picked this person, why you think my opinion's, let's say, wrong on a player you've picked, why you think this player's good based off this info and this something you've read and so on. It gives me more insight, it gives me more to know what your head's like, what you're thinking with your team, and it's not just something that I've got to review and be like, oh yeah, this is what I do, this is what I think you should do, but I don't get your opinions of what you think you want to do with your team, and I think that's so important now. And also, I'm going to say something while I'm live now. This whole YouTubers, I'm not saying names, I ain't saying names, but people are promoting AI, and AI is ridiculous. People are promoting AI to predict your teams, AI to suggest transfers, AI to do this. For me, I can't stand AI. You might as well just let AI take over your game and do your whole season for you if it was that good, and it was going to get you that many points, but it's not. FPL's fun, FPL is about human interaction, FPL is about you doing it yourself. So I do think AI is kind of ruining the game, so I'm going to get that across now. You will not see me be using any kind of AI. I use the Fantasy Football Hub tool to predict points and look at data and stats, but this is data that's took from the actual playing time in the Prem. This isn't just a stupid Opta AI suggesting what my team should be, what transfers I should make, how much money I should have in the bank, who should I captain. This isn't me looking at that kind of stuff. This is me just looking at basic stats that everyone should be looking at. And eye test for me. Like, let's say Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland's a bad example because he's going to be in everyone's team. Let's say, for example, Nicholas Jackson was doing a Darwin Núñez and he couldn't hit a barn door, but he looked very good in the eye test. But then Darwin Núñez scored a couple goals, but he's normally very bad and can't hit a barn door. Who will I go for? I'll go for Jackson, but the stats would base Darwin Núñez as a better pick because he's been scoring goals. That's the problem. The eye test is very, very important now. And a lot of people misjudge the fact that the eye test is very important. And I think people now just rely, don't get me wrong, I rely pretty heavy on stats. But I look into my own stats, I look into my own information, my own eye test, how I think the player's playing. But if I still think that some kind of stats is underrating what a player's performing like and how a player's going to perform, then I'm going to go for that player. Which is why, for me, the stats haven't got Alvarez down as a good pick. The stats haven't got Alvarez down as good predicted points or good shots or anything, but I feel like Alvarez, just based off the eye test and based off how I know he can play, for me, he's top 4 striker in the Prem. He's in the top 4 best strikers in the Prem for me. And if he was at another Premier League team, he could easily be top 2 striker in the Prem. Easy. I think if he gets his game time, which I think he will start the first game, and he gets that chance to prove himself, he's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Because when you look at the stats, right, he had 1,448 minutes, he had 13 starts, yeah? He scored 9 goals and got 3 assists. That's basically a goal or an assist every game. So, based just off that, and the fact he only had 13 starts, got 12 returns in 13 starts, tells me that he's going to be very good. Obviously, he played more than 13 starts. So you add the extra minutes on that he's had here and there, you're probably going to be talking about a 0.50 chance of getting a return a game, so half and half. But I think if he actually gets more game time, gets more chance to prove himself, and the fact he probably will be on penalties when Haaland's not on the pitch and Mahrez has gone as well. So he just offers so much value at 6.5 mil. He's a punt and he's under 5% owned. So even if Alvarez just gets an assist or just gets a goal, or let's say he gets an assist, 2 points and some bonus points, my rank's going to go well up just because of how low owned Alvarez is. And that's the same for me with Anderson. Like, Chilwell put it up to 15% owned now. I don't know, it's 12.4, fair enough, but still. Everyone's going to be playing Chilwell, who's got him, and no one's going to have a punt like Anderson. Anderson's 0.8 owned. But I know that Crystal Palace should be keeping a clean sheet versus Sheffield, and for me, I know he only scored 1 last season, but in cup games, he scores goals, he can get assists, he's a goal threat, and I can see him getting that goal threat, possibly getting a goal and assist, maybe getting a return. He should get a clean sheet easily, and he should be in the bonus points. So I could see him getting an easy 7 or 8 pointer with the bonus. And every people are, oh, he might not start, but when you look at it, he started 32 games last season. There's no evidence to say he's not going to start. He will start. And he's got expected goals of 2 and expected assists of 1. So we've got a total of 3 expected returns. So if he could get one of those returns game week 1 versus Sheffield and gets a clean sheet, I would be absolutely over the moon. Because of how low owned he is, I think it's worth the punt. Because let's be fair, Chilwell is going to blank because Liverpool are going to score a goal most likely. They might not, fair enough, he might get 6 and I might lose out on a couple points. Worst case scenario. But I don't see Chilwell getting a return versus Liverpool, or a goal or anything. So I just think Anderson should be getting that guaranteed clean sheet versus Sheffield Wednesday. And just because of how low owned he is, just that clean sheet with how low owned he is and the ownership is going to boost my rank a lot. And I think it's a safe clean sheet for me, which is why I fancy Anderson. I just think people are really underestimating him. So I want to see if that pump pays off, because if it does, I'll be very happy. Also, talk about, I've got Bell at the back at the minute, and he's gone down to 12% owned, and I do believe that everyone is switching to Kabore, so I'm probably going to switch Bell to Kabore now. I've called my team Alvarez is life. The reason is that I do think Alvarez is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I think Alvarez is going to be an absolute shock like Alvarez was last year. I think Caboret has got up in ownership, 6% owned, yeah. He's gone up because he's the, let me confirm those. He's the attacking fullback, and he Bowers like more of a central defender. Caboret is an attacking right back. So it does make the most sense to go Caboret as the bench option, to be honest. Obviously, I have got stick by a lot of people for having Chilwell on the bench, surprisingly, for game week 1. Because everyone's saying, oh, you can save 0.5 mil by going Anderson to a 4 mil player and having Chilwell starting just because you're playing Anderson game week 1. Fine, but I can cope with losing out on 0.5 mil. One, for that fixture. He's playable versus Wolves. He's playable versus Fulham. He's playable versus Brentford if someone gets injured. There's not that much of a difference between him and Mings, to be honest with you. And he's under 1% owned, so for me it's one of those punts that I just fancy. Yeah, same Fabio, you're going to be here 5 minutes and then you're going to go and come back. That's more than fine, bro. I'm still waiting on, we're still waiting on Slay and we're still waiting on Pratik. They should be here in a minute. I'm chilling, to be fair, mate. To be honest with you, I was waiting for mods to get in because I was worried about a lot of things going on, but surprisingly, we haven't had any hassle in the stream, which is nice. Yeah, no, I'm chilling, to be honest. I'm quite happy that Turner's obviously been changed to a Forest player now as well, so I've got the bench option at 4 mil, so I'm quite happy about that. To be honest, I've just been chilling today. Obviously, I made the thumbnail earlier. I don't know what you lot think of the new thumbnail. I don't know how it looks, to be honest with you. Whether it's any good, God knows. I spent a good hour and a half making it. Mainly, it doesn't look like that, right? It took me actually like 40 minutes to make the actual thumbnail, but I had to go through loads of photos and actually edit things out. I had to edit the whole flipping Eze picture out, and oh god, I'm not even going there. I just had to edit stuff out. Sonny's very vibe. Yeah, Son is. Son's going in my team game week 3. I've already said this. Martinelli game week 3 is going to Heung-min Son, and Alvarez is going to go to Watkins most likely game week 2, depending on how Alvarez plays. If Alvarez plays really well, I'll keep him and do Joe Pedro to Watkins game week, not Watkins, Jackson game week 4. And also Matoma might be Mbumo because I don't know if I want 2 Brighton attackers to get stuck with. It would save me a few less fires to put out, but then I'm scared of going without Matoma because he's 40% owned. But Mbumo has been in training and he's on pens, so he could do well. I also fancy Mudryk. I think my game week 3 transfers are most likely going to be João Pedro to Jackson, Matoma to Mudryk, and Martinelli to Son for a -4. Assuming I have no other fires to put out, and people are, oh, you can't take a -4 game week 3, you can't take a -4 game week 2. If anyone says that, I'm just going to say, look, stuff it, it's my team, I'll do what I want with my team, worry about your own team. I've said that a lot. I've gone Diaby, I don't fancy Eze. I think they've not got Elise, he's injured, they've not got Zaha, he's left. And I know Eze might get a goal or an assist game week 1, I'm expecting that, I'm not worried about that, but I just think long term, is Eze the man? Is he going to be that person you're going to want long term with them fixtures? And I just think no. I just think no. I just can't justify it. I'll tell you who I don't mind, but again, he'd be a game week 1 punt. He's Schlupp. But again, Crystal Palace game week 1 punt, you'd flog him. Eze, you have him game week 1, then you get rid of him. It's not justifiable for me, to be honest, at the moment. We're still waiting on Pratik to get in as well. When he's back. Surprisingly, this stream has been about bang on time for everyone. We're just waiting on Slay as well. But to be honest with you, that it's been quite decent. Waiting for Alpo as well. Hopefully Alpo can get in today. I have said at the start of the stream, I probably most likely won't have a deadline stream tomorrow. That could all change tomorrow. It's mainly going to depend on how busy I am, what I'm doing, how long I've got to be able to set up the stream, do the thumbnail, you know, set everything up. It does take time. it does take a decent amount of time. It took me a good hour and a half, like I said, just to do that thumbnail. Then I've had to set the stream up, then I've had to sort the microphone to make sure everything was working and test everything. You know, it does take time to set the streams up, same with the videos, but I stopped doing the videos a bit ago. I stopped doing the videos ages ago, mainly because I just don't have the time. I haven't done a video for 9 months, mainly because, and I'll tell you that now, I don't have the time. Because it takes so long to record the videos, edit the videos. It takes a long time, and because of how small and just fun this channel is, and it's just FPL based, and it's a lot more, for me it's better to talk live interactions with you, and speak live on a basis with you, and talk about the teams, and talk about the people who may be injured, or may need transferring out, or any good picks, or any differentials. I found it better to talk on a live stream than doing a video. Videos for me, I don't think are better than live streams. Hello Slay, you don't want to come in with the XD to start off with. I've been waiting for you to be fair, Slay. Surprisingly, Slay, after the way the Discord was earlier that I was in, I was expecting to have a load of people come in absolutely full barrage, absolute hate, absolute starting in the chat, but surprisingly, none of them have come in, which is great for us, because that means we've got a peaceful chat. Yeah, no worries, Fabio. Like I said, I'm probably going to be live till like 7:30 anyway, so 7:30, 7:15, something like that, but you're going to be back about 6:30, so... No, Fabio's coming back at 6:30, so it's not like he's just leaving. In fairness, he did say 6:30, I just decided to start earlier because I think there's more time for us to bash things out. I do need to look at some stats as well. Petite should be in as well today, which is nice, because we have not had everyone in, to be honest with you, for a couple of weeks. Everyone's been busy. I am going to say something. Next week on Wednesday, so I thought I was going for a week for that apprenticeship-based thing I'm doing anyway, but it's not next week, it's the week after, so next week on Wednesday I won't probably be able to do a stream till like 5, and then the week after that I'm going to be pretty busy, but I should be able to get a couple streams in on the week. But I am going to say it now this year, we might not always make deadline streams on a Saturday. We're probably just going to end up doing something like sitting in the Discord in the morning and going through the deadline for like an hour and a half, talking about things, leaks, whatever, because I just might not have that time to do deadlines. Friday night deadlines are more doable for me than those weekend deadlines, if that makes sense. So let's say that to Fabio as well. How are you anyway, Slay? You doing alright? Assuming you've got the team all sorted now, unless you're still tinkering. I know I'm pretty much set on Alvarez. I think my locked-in players that are not going to be leaving my team are Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, Haaland, Joe Pedro. I'm not going to even bother saying stupid ones. Give me Gabriel, Chilwell, and Diaby. The ones that could leave my team are Matoma, Alvarez, Turner. Won't switch, sorry, not Turner. Matoma, Alvarez, Anderson I like, so he probably won't leave, but there's a possibility he leaves. There's a couple here and there that might go. But how's your team tinkering out? Is it looking decent? Cause I'll take the guess to say it's getting there. I know I'm pretty much getting there, the team now. I wonder where Petite is, to be honest with you, lads. I will quickly I'm just going to look through some news online now as well. Alright. Okay, yeah, Slate can hear me. It's like Slate is actually, the chat's just being very slow. Don't mind, I've just fixed it. Yeah, it's going good. Yeah, it looked good, to be fair, the other day when you were showing me that draft. I'm still not certain on Salah. Whether you took Salah out, I don't know, because I did not know if you have or not, because I don't think you've sent me a recent draft. God, my throat's killing today. Do you think Salah's good though? But I just don't think he's worth the money. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, Salah's a very bad option, don't buy Salah. It's not like I'm doing that. I just think there's more value in midfield without Salah. There's more value in your attack without Salah. When you have Salah, you have to compromise. You know, you have to compromise. Maybe you have to start a 4.5 with defender. Maybe you have to start a 5.5 mid. You have to compromise. And I don't like having to compromise. What I was saying, Slay, as well, I was considering doing, just on maybe one day a week, when I'm not busy occasionally, I'll do, I don't know, let's say we get you lot's teams pulled up for a day and we review the teams, and we'll get some of you on the Discord call so we can talk about the team, why you picked this player, you know, why you're going for this team, transfer news, so on, why this person's your captain, why you want to transfer this player in, why you want to bench this player, why you think this player is doing good, and so on, and talk through it. Because I think it would make it a lot more entertaining, to be honest, to be able to sit and just talk through with you lot on it on the Discord, as well as reviewing the team, looking into the team, you know, looking to data. I think it'd be quite good. But I'll see what you think, but I think it'd be quite a decent thing to do, to be honest. Just being able to like talk through all the points and whatnot, and based on the team through. Is everyone still in there? Yeah, we can do that. Sounds like, yeah, sounds good to me. I was thinking it gives us something to like basically do, I think, and it sounds quite good to me, to be honest. As if you don't, like I said, it's up to you. Like, if you don't mind coming to a Discord call, we'll do it. Yeah, FPL Nerves, welcome to the channel, bro. Yes, there is a strong bench, but technically speaking, it's not as strong as you may think. Obviously, I've got Diaby, because Diaby's there just to cover Alvarez. Mainly, to be honest, he's there to replace Matoma as well. But Diaby's going to play over Martinelli game week 2. I've already decided that. I don't fancy Martinelli versus Crystal Palace, so I'm going to play Diaby versus, I believe is it Everton or Burnley? I think it's Burnley? Everton. And obviously, Chilwell is going to be on for Anderson. Anderson's a bench option. He's just playing game week 1 because of the fixture. Obviously, Joe Alvarez is a bit of a punt. I have got 2.5 million in the bank as well, so I can move players out. But yeah, it's a fairly strong bench. But really, statistically speaking, this is what my bench would look like: Anderson, Diaby, Turner, and Kabore. So it's not that strong of a bench, apart from obviously Diaby. So it really depends how you look at a strong bench and what you define as a strong bench, really. I think the team looks okay. I'm trying to be a bit different. I've still got the template, but I'm trying to think a little bit outside of the box. And sometimes it can mess you up start the season, I'll accept that, but I think I should be okay with the Alvarez punt. I'm quite confident Anderson outscores Chilwell. Haaland or Saka are going to be my captain. I'm tossing and turning between that. Saka, you captain him and he could boost your rank up ridiculously and do well in your mini leagues, but then everyone's going to captain Haaland, so if it backfires, you're in a bad position. So I probably won't captain Saka and probably stay safe and just captain Haaland just to make sure my rank's quite safe to start the season off. Because I've still got some differentials in Alvarez and whatnot who can gain your rank, so I think the team's fairly strong. How's your team looking anyway, FPL Nevs? I'm just going to call you MFZ, it makes it easier for me, if you don't mind. Right, Pratik. You finally found it then. I should just really send you a link, to be honest, and sort something out, because it makes it less awkward, to be honest with you lads. How your day going, Pratik? Yeah, new season, new headaches. New transfer headaches, new bench headaches, new every single week headaches, new Friday nights. Going to be the worst day ever. If Haaland blanks and Alvarez doesn't start, I don't think you're going to hear from me on Saturday. Point blank. If Alvarez doesn't start, I don't think I'm going to have a very good Saturday. But then if Alvarez doesn't start at all and Diaby comes on, I won't mind as much. But personally, I think Alvarez starts. Yeah, I've got to literally, tomorrow's tinkering. I said to these lot, I don't know how busy I am, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have. If I have enough time, I'll do a deadline stream. If I don't have enough time, then I won't. And I'll do a Discord chat with you lot. Maybe go on a Discord call, and we'll do a Discord call. I said to Slay, we could go on a Discord call, we can speak through it on Discord. I might not have time to do the stream or not have time to set everything up, if that makes sense. Why Alvarez? One, he's been starting in pre-season. He's been doing pretty well in the Cups, for me. He did pretty well in the Community Shield. He's starting behind Haaland. Pep's favourable pick as well for Alvarez to start behind Haaland. He's an immense striker. I think he's absolute class. He'll be on pens when Haaland isn't on the pitch. He'll play up front when Haaland isn't on the pitch. And for me, he's nailed for 90 minutes for that first game, and it's Burnley. And last time they played Burnley, he got a goal and assist when he was in the Cup. So I really, really fancy Alvarez. It was 2 goals, a goal and assist or 2 goals. I really fancy Alvarez though. And I think it's one of those things where I've got bench cover in Diaby. I've got bench cover in Chilwell. It's not like I'm lacking bench cover. So if Alvarez manages to pop off and go and get a goal or even just get an assist and a couple bonus points, then I'm going to have a very good start to the season. Which is why I think it could go very well. Also, I've got Anderson as a differential, as a bench option. But I'm starting him game week 1 over Chilwell just because of the fixture. Chilwell's just got a better fixture. Anderson's got a better fixture than Chilwell game week 1. But like I said, I'll take any criticism on the draft. I expect to get a lot of criticism for Alvarez and Anderson. I expect to take it on the chin. But it just means if Alvarez goes and scores and I'm the one laughing at it, if it doesn't pay off, then it doesn't pay off. It's the risk you take, isn't it? I have got 2.5 mil, so it's not like I can't just move out of Alvarez game week 2 if it goes that bad. And obviously I've got Diaby bench cover, so it's not like I'm lacking players, is it really? Also, Turner's going to be my keeper game week 2. A lot of people are going to go, why? Mainly because he's got Sheffield United and Onana's got Tottenham. And if Turner stays under the 10% own mark, which is 5.5 at the minute, he's still a little bit of a differential. Because I reckon Areola's probably going to stay more owned than Turner, to be honest with you. And I like Turner, to be honest. I don't mind him. He's going to be the starting keeper only at 4 mil, so it's a bargain. I don't know how you lot's teams are looking, though. How's your team currently looking, Pratik? I know Slay's still got the iffiness of having 2 drafts. If you post them in the Discord to me, Slay, on a message, and Pratik, if you message me them, I'll read them off there, because it makes it a lot easier for me than having to read all of the teams out through the chat. It's a bit awkward. You were quick, Fabio. Surprisingly. Nice and quick, to be fair. But yeah, I'll wait for Pratik and Slay just to send me their teams through Discord, and then I'll read them through now. And we'll see what we can do, tinkering wise. Your team's same as yesterday. Okay, I'll pull it up on Instagram. One sec, just so I can read through it. So you've got Turner, Onana. Turner's obviously a Forest player now, so you'll still have an Arsenal spot free. Turner, Onana, Udogie, I like Udogie. Chilwell, Estupin and Gabriel, everyone's got them, so we're not going to talk on them. Salah, Saka, yeah. The only thing I'm going to point out in this team, and it's your personal, I don't like Eze. I don't like Eze. I really, really don't like Eze. I just think he's got that game week 1 fixture versus Sheffield, right? But the way you've got to look at it, Pratik, is Elise's injured. Zaha's left. He's like the only strong attacker in that Palace side. There's not really many people who's going to supply anything into him. And after game week 1, he's got a crap fixture on. Arsenal, Brentford. I think Tottenham's in the mix somewhere there. He's not got a great fixture on, let's be fair. I know he's at home versus Arsenal, but I can't see him scoring. I can't really see him scoring versus Sheffield. Most he'll get maybe a goal or an assist and maybe just have 1 return. But I just don't see him as a long-term viable pick. Where, if you take into the account Diaby, I know he has Newcastle first game, but then he has Everton and Burnley. And he's playing up front with Ollie Watkins. And he's less owned than Eze. Which is why I like Diaby. I also don't mind Mudryk if you fancy a punt, but Mudryk's really a player you want to go for from game week 2 onwards. I suppose you can play him versus Liverpool. But to be honest with you, the only things really I'd recommend with that team is... 1, I think Bamba's injured now, so get him out to Archer. Put Mbumo in. Mbumo's been in training. There's been pictures of him in training on Twitter. He's not injured anymore, he's sound. Don't worry about the yellow flag on Mbumo. As far as I'm aware, Mbumo is going to be nailed for that start and should be nailed 90 minutes. there's literally been pictures on Twitter. FPL Raptor posted, loads of people posted pictures of him in training. Fabrizio Romano said he was in training. He should be fine. He's been fitting back in training. It was only a dead leg. It was nothing like a major injury or a major knock or anything. It was just literally a dead leg. I don't tend to look into flags too much. Obviously, I just put Mbeumo in for now. And if we get news on deadline that he doesn't start, then you just put Diaby or Eze in. But for me, I prefer Diaby. But Mbeumo for me should be starting. Why Onana over Johnston? Well, one, as I've just reiterated, I already have a Crystal Palace defender in Anderson. Also, Johnston's got a good fixture game week 1, then they're absolutely trash. And anyone who does Johnston-Pickford rotation is pointless because you've got two 4.5 mil keepers rotating. Pickford, I don't really fancy, to be honest. He's going to concede to Villa. They might concede to Fulham, probably will, so there's not going to be a clean sheet anyway. Johnston's not good long term. Everyone's got Onana who's high owned. One, he plays for Man United, which is my team. We'll keep a clean sheet versus Wolves. We should be getting 4 out of 6 of those first games clean sheets. So I can't justify Johnston. And I don't really get the hype around Johnson, to be honest, as a keeper. Because I just don't think he's going to do anything. I just think it's something that everyone's just thinking just to put another differential in the mix and another player in the mix. But he's not really worth it. I don't mind Ortega for Man City. I'm tempted to go Ortega over Turner because Ortega's only 4 mil as well. But Turner's nailed. Ortega might not be. I'll have a look at Slay's draft now. Or drafts, shall we say. Ah, so you're going for the Salah draft, are you? Let's have a look then. Pickford, Areola, Luke Shaw, Chilwell, Estupiñán, Gabriel, Diaby. I fancy. I like Diaby. I love that pick. Haven't got Matoma, which is fair. I'm considering not going Matoma. I have a Discord, Roku. Slave, you don't mind doing me a favour and just linking the Discord in chat for me, please. If you don't mind. And then get Roku to send the team in there and we will look at your team momentarily, Roku. So you've got Pickford, Chilwell, Estupiñán, Gabriel, Diaby, Saka, Salah, Martinelli, Haaland, Jackson, João Pedro, Shaw. This team worries me. I'll tell you why this team worries me. You haven't got Rashford. Salah's got a good fixture game week 2, but he hasn't got a phenomenal fixture all the while. And I think what you're compensating for having Salah is not worth it. You're compensating not having Rashford. You're essentially compensating not having Onana. You're compensating not having... what's his name? Who was I going to say now? Like Maddison or something. You're compensating not possibly having Maddison or something. To be honest with you, if you don't have Salah, you can have Rashford. You can have Matoma. You can bench Jackson until game week 2. You've got a better starting lineup. You're capable of benching Matoma. You've got Diaby. You still have Shaw. The options without Salah are endless. Obviously, if you do want to go Salah, that's absolutely fine. Run the draft. But I just think not having Rashford would scare the crap out of me. So if you can possibly get Rashford in, my advice would be do Chilwell, or I'd do Pickford to Onana, Areola to Turner, Shaw to Anderson, play Anderson over Chilwell or Gahey, any of the Crystal Palace defenders over Chilwell game week 1, and then do Martinelli to Rashford. Mainly because not having Rashford scares me, not having Onana scares me. Anderson's a great, or Gahey's a great Crystal Palace defender for game week 1, and you play Chilwell game week 2. That would be my personal advice. It was like I just said, Onana for Pickford, Rashford for Martinelli, Shaw to Anderson or Gahey, or Udogie, either of them, all of them are good. Areola to Turner. Anderson's a great 4.5 min the bench, I like that pick. And obviously you bench Chilwell game week 1 for the first defender you pick. Most likely a Crystal Palace one. So I like the draft, and there's ways of doing it, but it's up to you. Personally, I just think you can either do that, what I've just said, or not have Salah. But I just think, to be honest with you, if you want a Liverpool player, I would just run a normal team game week 1 with your Rashfords, your Brunos, Sakas, Martinellis, whatever, And then come game week 2, after we know kind of who's going to start, maybe go for like a Luis Diaz or a Diego Jota or a Gakpo. You know, I'm not going to throw Darwin Núñez in the mix because he ain't going to start for me personally. So that's what I'd be looking at. But that would mainly depend on what your thought plan is, because I have MOFO. Well, not MOFO. I have FOMO of going without Salah. Meaning, I'm scared out of my ass with going without Salah. But I think the players I've got instead of Salah make up for not having Salah with the upside of the players I'm going to have. You know, if you have Salah, I'll have a look now, Roku, one sec. If you have Salah, you can't have, let's say, maybe Rashford, or you have to compensate by not having Martinelli, you have to compensate by not having, let's say, a Watkins or something like that. You have to compensate for having Salah. And I just don't think the compensation is worth it. I'm going to say something now as well. Anyone who's got Trent, I would advise against it, because for me, I don't see Liverpool keeping any more than 9 clean sheets this season. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near as attacking, and he's playing that right back role again. We all know he plays a poor right back role. Yes, Pratik, alright, chill out. I didn't mean to say Mo, I meant to say FOMO. I've got a bit of a sore throat today. I suppose that doesn't make up for it. Right, I'll have a look now. Let me have a look. Which Discord did you send, Slay? Ah, yeah, you sent him the What's It Discord, that sound. Right, so you've got... This is Roku's team. So he's got Steele in goal. He's got Gabriel. He's got Shaw. He's got the bloke who's made of glass, Reece James. I had to say it. Maddison, Odegaard. Got another Salah draft there. Salah, Eze, Bruno Fernandes, Haaland, and João Pedro. Yeah. I don't mind Bruno if you think Bruno's going to play well. For me as a Man United fan, he's on penalties. So yeah, you're probably going to average about 5 points a game with Bruno on FPL. But I do think he's going to sit deep. But again, it's still a wait and see. But for me, I think Bruno Fernandes is going to sit a little bit deeper this year. And the thing for me with Bruno Fernandes as a Man United fan and just in general, he's a bit hit or miss for FPL. Sometimes he can have a banging week and double-digit haul, and then the next 5 he can blank. He's really hit or miss. If you pick him up on form, he will play very well. If you pick him up on form. Also, Reece James might get pens, but it's doubtful. It's probably going to be Jackson. And for me, I just don't think that James is not going to get injured. For me, I'd go Chilwell. And maybe if James is fit and he proves he's fit for a couple of games, maybe go James later on down the line. I know it's booking in a transfer, but it's better than having to do a transfer because Reece James gets injured anyway. And he's not long come back from injury. And it was a big injury as well. It's not like it was a small injury. He was out for months. So I'd be cautious with Reece James personally. I do think Chilwell's a better option. Yes, they're both injury prone, but Reece James is just made of glass. The man gets injured 24/7. I really, really don't like it about him. Just dissing my captain. Dissing which captain? You even dish it. Who's your captain then? Oh, you mean Reece James? Yeah, I'm going to diss Reece James to Chelsea because no offence, Slay, right? He's made of glass. He hardly did sod all last season. And the whole people bigging him up is absolutely ridiculous. I don't see him as a justifiable option. And anyway, move on to the rest of your team, Roku. I don't mind the Steele pick, but I do prefer Onana. And I think Steele's 5 mil the same price anyway. And I do prefer Onana. But you have got Shaw. So I do think... One thing I'm going to say is... Personally, I would go a Stupinan over Shaw because not having a Stupinan in your team is just... You're going to absolutely wreck your whole season within the first game week, so make sure you've got a Stupinan. Also, I would go Chilwell over James. I would also probably go Onana over Steele or go for 2 4.5 mil rotating keepers, up to you. I prefer Onana and Turner just based off how it is. And it seems template, but you need to go template start the season, not to ruin your rank. Gabriel, great pick. Haaland, obviously, not going to talk about that. João Pedro, yeah, a lot of people are jumping. A bit annoying because he's a bit of a differential for me, but it's fine. Maddison, I like Maddison as a pick, but for me, personally, I would start off with Matoma for the first 3 game weeks, and then move to Maddison come game week 3. So start with Matoma maybe first 2, or start in the first 3, and move to Maddison game week 3 or 4, because it's still a wait or see with Maddison, how he's going to perform for Spurs. He's very good in the Prem for Leicester, but it's just how Spurs are going to play, and whatnot, so we need to wait and see. Also, Odegaard, personally, I would have Saka over Odegaard, because not having Saka is going to absolutely destroy your ranks. So Saka or Stupian are essential. Matoma, he's not necessarily essential. To be honest with you, actually, I'd keep Maddison and go Matoma over Eze. I'm considering not having Matoma, but I would definitely not put Eze in over him, as I just don't like Eze past game week 1, so I'd probably go Matoma there. And then on Bruno Fernandes, I like Bruno Fernandes. I could have Bruno Fernandes in myself, but I just think he's going to sit deep. I know he's on pens, but I prefer Martinelli and Saka to Rashford, Bruno and Saka. I prefer Saka, Rashford and Martinelli. I don't mind Odegaard. Odegaard's a nailed 90 minutes man, but Martinelli's going to play a min of 60 minutes, and he's a more explosive, more attacking player, going to get more returns. And because Odegaard's already said, and there's already been press conferences and interviews and whatnot, saying Odegaard is going to be sitting deep, and the suggestions that Bruno's most likely going to be sitting deep as well, I'm trying to kind of steer away from them. I know it's hard when a lot of people are going Bruno when he's on pens, but do I think he's going to be absolutely amazing this season? No, he's going to be about average. He's probably going to get about maybe 13 returns in the season, where Martinelli's probably going to be up there with the 18, 19, 20 returns, and he plays for Arsenal. And there's more chance of Martinelli getting double-digit hauls than single hauls, and Bruno mostly gets single hauls. And I think Arsenal's fixture run, he's going to be absolutely popping off. Yeah, that's right, Slate. So for me, I like your team, but the changes I would make, like I said, is Onana for Steele, Shaw to Estupiñán, James to Chilwell, Maddison or Eze to Matoma, and Odegaard to Saka. And you can either have Bruno Fernandes or Martinelli, up to you. I prefer Martinelli. That's my personal look on your team. I don't think it's a bad team. You could go Steele if you really fancy, but then you'd have to double up on Brighton defence, and I don't like that, because Estupiñán is someone you're going to have as a must for me. Especially if you're taking the game pretty seriously and you want to win your mini leagues. For me, I'd start off with a very template team, as I've just said, the players I've picked. You've still got a couple differentials, really, because J. Pedro's still kind of a differential. Maddison's kind of a differential, I think, now. He's only under like 12% owned or something. And you could go and Boomer over Eze, who's 10% owned if you don't want Matoma, because then Boomer's fit, he's been in training. So, for me, have a tinker with it. That's what I'd be going for. And yeah, it's not a bad team, to be honest, mate. If I was rating your team at what you've just showed me, I'd give you a good 7.5 out of 10. Because there is tinkering, there is essential players you need, but it's not a bad team. Fabio, look at the chat. I've got Pratik in here anyway. Assuming Pratik's in here. We will see. We have enough mods, thankfully. We've got Fabio as well, so we should be good mods-wise today. Yeah, I'll see you. See you in a minute, though, Slay. We are going to do some more questions, guys, and then we're going to talk about some transfer news and so what. So we're going to do a good, I'd say now, the next 20 or so minutes, 4 straight questions. So if anyone's got any questions, bang them in the chat. We'll do rapid-fire questions now. Any questions you want to ask, just anything FPL-based, football-based, anything. Joe, just ask what you like in the chat, questions-wise. You know, what's your favourite differential? What's your favourite under 1% owned player? What's your favourite player who's going to be this expensive and so on? Just ask whatever. We'll do a quick fire questions. And we'll review some teams as well. If people want me to review your team, just whack it in the chat. And I should get people to throw the Discord as well. The Discord link's here as well, so I'll post the Discord link again in a minute. For you lot. I'll get Slay or Fabio to do it in a sec. Thoughts on Watkins. There we go. Watkins, yeah, phenomenal player. He's on penalties. From game week 2 onwards, I like Watkins. I don't mind him for game week 1 either, but it is Newcastle. I do think though, Roku, if you are going Diaby, then I wouldn't go Watkins as well. It's viable, but I just think with Diaby and Watkins playing up front, they're both going to be getting about the same returns, apart from Watkins being on pens. And the only time really you want to catch Watkins on a goal streak. But I prefer having Diaby because he's 6.5 mil. Watkins is 8 mil. So if you have Diaby, you can go, let's say, Nicholas Jackson over Watkins or Alvarez over Watkins. But Watkins is a very, very viable pick. I think he's like the most high-owned striker at the minute after Haaland. So he's definitely a viable pick. Definitely. I'm assuming you're a Villa fan though. Just by the is there any other Villa picks? I believe Watkins is sat around 23% owned. No, 25. He's gone up then today. Okay, sorry, he's gone up like 2% owned within a couple hours. Yeah, I'm trying to be a bit different, but I like Diaby. I really do like Diaby. But I'm playing him game week 2 onwards. I'm hoping he actually plays well game week 1, but I don't want him to get a return. If he gets a return, I'm going to be quite annoyed because it's a bit of a bench headache, to be honest. To be honest, if I don't keep Matoma, I'll just sell Matoma to a 4.5 and play Diaby. But a bit iffy. He had 24 starts, 7 goals, 9 assists, you see. I just think you can't not have him in for those first 3 fixtures. I think I'm going to be very in a bad position if I don't have Matoma, so I probably will keep Matoma in the team. Obviously Alvarez, like I've said, is probably going to be bench game week 2 for Diaby. And then come game week 3 when Alvarez is Sheffield, if I have news Alvarez is going to start, then I'll bench Diaby again versus Burnley. In fact, actually no, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably bench Matoma because I think Matoma's got like West Ham, which isn't an easy fixture. And João Pedro will be gone by then as well. Grab a drink quick. Can you just go for it? Yep. I'm going to say I haven't really got a preferred pick to Watkins or Jackson. Like a completely preferred pick. It's maybe 45, 55 Jackson's favour at the minute. I was going to pick one. Just because Jackson's a mil cheaper and you can have Diaby. And obviously he probably will be on pens for Chelsea. It's going to be him or James, but I think there's more chance of it being Jackson. But the question is he going to perform just as well without having Nkunku? That's the question. And it's how Chelsea are going to perform in that opening fixture. That for me is going to tell me whether Chelsea are going to be a very good team this season or not, just based off those first couple of fixtures. They should be getting clean sheets though. They'll get more clean sheets than Liverpool, which is why I think Chilwell's a better pick than Trent. Trent might pop off versus Bournemouth. Maybe he'll go and get a 12-pointer or something. Boo-hoo. But then long term, is he a better pick than Chilwell or Shaw or Stones? Gvardiol. People are throwing Gvardiol around. I'm not keen on Gvardiol, but people are throwing the name around. It's not a terrible pick. I don't mind it. But it really depends how you look at it. It's just pet roulette for me. I know there was a Twitter post on the Man City Extra and whatnot saying Gvardiol was ready to start. Obviously, basically the first game of the season, but I just think the way Pep is, you need to earn your game time, and he's such a pep roulette. Do I think he's going to guaranteedly start Gvardiol? No. Right, serious question from Roku. Would you get Richarlison if Kane leaves? Yes, I would. Funny enough, I was talking about this earlier with my brothers and whatnot on Discord. Yes, I would. Mainly because he'll be their out-and-out striker if Kane leaves. And he plays really well. He's not bad. He's a bit cocky, Richarlison. Like I said, he's a bit of a hothead for a Brazilian, but they all are, so Anthony's a bit like it. But yeah, I probably would, but I'm going to say more likely if Kane left, some would be on pens. But I am going to say something now, Roku. For me, I don't see Kane leaving. I don't see Kane leaving one bit. So I don't think we're even going to get that opportunity, because I can't see Kane leaving. And the thing is, if Kane left, everyone would jump on Richarlison anyway, so it wouldn't even end up being a differential. But nah, I can't see Kane leaving, personally. Liverpool trash defence. Yep, they are. I'm saying it now, the most clean sheets I think, I might be wrong, and everyone can do my head in who's a Liverpool fan or whatnot if I'm wrong. And you know what, stick the finger up and say, yep, you were wrong, fine, I'll accept that. But I don't think they're getting any more than 9 clean sheets this season. I don't think they're going to do as well as people think. I just think they're going to win games, and they're going to make top 6, but they're not going to be top 4. They're not making Champions League. I don't think. They might though, they might surprise us like they flipping did years ago and just go on and end up winning the thing, which is doubtful. I fancy us Man United, to be honest, to win the league this year. Assuming we can play well though. We'd have to beat City, we'd have to beat Liverpool, we'd have to play very well. Which Ten Hag could do well with us, like I said. We did very well last year to finish 3rd. If we can perform like we did last year, there's no reason whatsoever that we could not come 1st or 2nd if we was to perform better, which I think we can. Oh, whoever subbed as well, thanks for the subscriber, bro. Much appreciated. We're only 15 off the 200 mark now, so we're getting there. But anyway, Fabio. Oh, you off now? Alright, see you later, Fabio. Alright, I think we've still got Pratik somewhere. Slay should be back now and again. But yeah, if anyone's got any more questions, bro, put them in the chat, man. We're just going to be answering questions now, quick fire questions. To be honest, bro, if you've got a really long question you want to put in, whack it in. I've got time, innit? Put some questions in, boys, and we'll get questions on. We'll get some questions going. But I believe Pratik's still here. Normally is. We'll get some more questions going. If you've got any questions, Pratik, get some questions in. Right, sorry boys, we can have a quick drink. Oh, you're already here, Pratik. Ah, sound. Okay, yeah, that's an annoying question, but okay, I'll answer it anyway. No. I think he starts like the first 6 games of the season minimum. I said no, he should start every game, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah, he's going to start every single game of the season because I don't know if he's going to get injured. So if you can reiterate that question to when do you think he's going to start the first 3 or first 4 games, for example. No depth, and they should also... I mean, funny, we don't struggle in attack. Roku, thank you. You can have your opinion, yeah, but we do not, for me, struggle in attack. We will easily make top 4, minimum. Especially with the new signings we've got. I think Hodgland's going to do absolutely very well. I could see him scoring 18 goals. Probably like 15 in the Prem. No, sorry. See him score 18 goals, sorry, in the, messed my words again. I could see him scoring 18 goals in the Prem. And 12 or 13, maybe 15 outside the Premier Cups. Everyone's going to laugh, but I would not be shocked if Hodgland popped off. Sissy asset, apart from Haaland. Right, I'll say it. I've got a big City player in a big blue kit on the right side of João Pedro. That's the player I'd be going for if I was going for another City option. Foden's there. Everyone looks Foden. I like Foden, but I don't think Foden starts. And because I don't think Foden starts, he's not in. If I get news that Foden is going to start, then Martinelli will go to Foden or Batuma will go to Foden within an instant. That's simple. If I get news Foden starts. That's the question. It's Pep rotation. The only one I think's nailed for City, really, for me, the only players I think are nailed to start is Alvarez and Grealish. For me, Alvarez should start. Unless we get news saying otherwise, I personally think he starts. And if we're going nailed defenders, I don't really think there is one, if I'm being honest. Apart from, you could say Stones, but then there's rumours of Gavardio, but I don't think Gavardio starts, and then you don't know if Ruben Diaz is going to start, Laporte is going to come back, or something daft, you know, you never know. I don't even know if Laporte is injured, to be honest. And you bring in Foden even just for one game. That Burnley game is a very, very good game for City. And they're going to win that game like 4-1, 5-1, maybe even 6-1. Maybe even 6-0. You know, but what Pep's going to do, I'm going to tell you exactly what Pep's going to do. He's going to say, look, give Burnley possession. They're a team who like to play on possession. Give them possession of the ball. And we have that many good players. When Burnley have got possession, we're going to counter-attack. That's what all City are going to do. Burnley are going to have possession. They're going to let them have possession and push up the pitch. And all of a sudden, click, they're going to counter-attack, goal. Burnley's head's going to drop. Burnley going to be all over the shot. Boom, another goal, another goal, another goal. And City are going to start hammering them in. And you know it's going to happen. To win the league, Liverpool have no chance of top 4. This guy's a footballing genius. Alright, Pad. I said United are going to finish top 4 minimum, and I said I think we've got a possible chance of contending for the league title. Yeah, I can say it. And I never said Liverpool have no chance. I've said it's more than likely that Liverpool aren't going to finish top 4. And they're only going to keep like 9 clean sheets this season. Pratik's a Liverpool fan. Pratik accepts my opinion. Pratik's not argued with me yet. Clean sheets will be rare this season, I think. Yeah, to a degree. I still think you've got those clean sheets that should guaranteed happen, like Gabriel. If Arsenal don't get a clean sheet, something's up. If Anderson doesn't get a clean sheet, something's up. If Brighton concede to Luton, then something stupid's going on. But Everyone's got a stupid which is what I'm saying to you, Roki. Everyone's got a stupid so if it gets a red, a yellow, an own goal, minus points, this, no one cares because everyone's got him. Sorry, Pratik, I've got you just mixed up with someone else. Okay, yeah, I'll take it down on the chin, you can call me an arse. I completely forgot you're an Arsenal fan, that's my bad. Okay, I'll reiterate that question. I think it's Alpo, isn't it? Who's a Liverpool fan. God, I get so freaking confused. That's alright, sorry, Pratik. My apologies. But anyway, Pad, I'll apologise if I offended you in any way, but that's just my opinion. And I'm right to my opinion, and that's fine. If you don't like my opinion, more than happy to argue with it, but it's my opinion at the end of the day. That's what I think's going to happen. Now, if you've got any on-topic questions, like any related FPL questions or any serious football questions, put them in the chat and I'll answer them. If you've got any teams you need me to review, I'll get that reviewed. And if you need me to help you with any picks, I'll get Slay or myself, when Slay's back, I'll probably do myself, to put the Discord in, or Fabio to put the Discord link in for you, so you can put your team in the Discord. Couldn't tell already, we are a relaxed stream, so we don't have heat. Don't take anything too seriously, I say. Everyone's got their own opinions in this stream. Everyone will have opinions, everyone will have their own team. I don't want anyone criticising any teams, any opinions, nothing. Just keep it nice, simple and civil, yeah? Is Nunes guaranteed to start? Right, I'm gonna think of how... I'm sorry, Roki, but I'm going to answer this question in the most sarcastic way. Yes, Nunes is 1,000,000,000% definitely going to start every game of the season. He's going to score a hat-trick near enough every single game. He's going to play very well. He's not going to miss a single shot. He's not going to not score a goal on every shot he takes. I'm sorry, Roku, if you couldn't sense my sarcasm, but I don't personally think he's going to start. He might. But even if he does start, I don't care how he's done pre-season, he can't hit a barn door. He cannot hit a barn door. I could put a goal open and say, look, you're 1 centimetre from the goal, put it in the goal and he'd still miss. For me, if Klopp starts him, something's up. The only game I could see him starting and doing well in is the Burnley fixture. But I just don't think Nunes actually suits the way Liverpool play. I really don't think Nunes suits the way Liverpool play. Gakpo's a way better pick than Nunes. How Nunes is like 18% owned or whatnot, you think everyone would have learned after the start of last season to not go Nunes from the get-go? You think people would have learned after that red card, after blanking near enough every week, after not hitting a barn door? You think people would have learned, but no one did. And I think just because he's done well in pre-season, he's getting overhyped again. You know, he did well before for a club and then went to Liverpool, he got overhyped. He's done well in pre-season, he got overhyped. And then he's going to go and absolutely perform terribly and hardly get any minutes. He's a rotation risk. I can't have players in my team who are going to be a massive rotation risk. The only reason I've even got Alvarez is because mainly he's a 1 week punt and he'll start Burnley. And then I'll probably bench him for Diaby every game then. Unless I have news he plays. And then with Martinelli, he's going to get 60 minutes minimum for me every game, week in, week out. And he's a better attacking goal threat than Trossard, as well, and Odegaard. And Trossard's only going to get like 30 minutes a game, maybe 20 something. You know, he's not guaranteed minutes really. And I think Pratik will agree with me on that. That Martinelli should be getting 60 minutes game in, game out, and Trossard will maybe get 30, 40 minutes. Maybe even in the 20s. You know, he's not going to be guaranteed minutes for me. I think he's still got to prove it. But what I am saying now is Havertz is going to start up front. If Havertz starts up front, personally I would prefer Trossard to start up front for you, Petit, because I know he's a viable option for my team, but he won't start. I just think Kai Havertz is an absolute plonker. Again, he's a Darwin Nunes 2.0. He can't hit a barn door. He did that Miami bloody thing in America when they were doing the volleys in the open net. He missed every single one. You tell me how he's a good striker. I think that was the biggest flop buy of the season for you, Petit, for Arsenal. Now, he may prove me wrong, but I think Kai Havertz is horrific and I don't like him. And yes, Roku, I will have a look at your second draft now, mate. Is this your updated draft by the sounds of it then? So you've changed the draft? No. 3 red flags. Edison, Darwin, Chukwuemeka, I prefer the one you had in before, Anderson. Then again, Chukwuemeka will probably start, so it's actually not bad. Eze, for me, I don't like Eze, start off. Yeah, I'm sorry about my comments, but for me, he might go and score goals, a couple goals a season, but do I see him being consistent? No. I can't even, to be honest with you, seeing him scoring goals, unless he pulls some magical form out of the clouds, I can't see it happening. For me, that's your second draft without Salah. Right, for me, a viable midfield, and this is my opinion, what a viable midfield is. Saka, Martinelli, Rashford, those are your core midfielders. And Matoma. So there's 4 midfielders there that are your core midfielders that you have to have for me. Or Odegaard or Bruno over Martinelli. But your core midfielders are Saka, Rashford, Matoma. For me, if you haven't got Joe Pedro, you need to have Matoma must. Now, if you go Joe Pedro, you can go the likes of Diaby, Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, and possibly Maddison or Eze, probably Maddison. And then go for the likes of Joe Pedro or Haaland. And then you could have Nicholas Jackson over Alvarez. Obviously, I've got Alvarez. You'd have Nicholas Jackson instead, as you've just said. So for me, I would go Onana, Estupiñán, Gabriel, Chilwell, and I would go a 4.5 on the bench. There's no need to have 2 5.5 mil defenders that rotate. It's pointless. They might as well have a 4.5 that rotates, because you can have the likes of Rico Henry or Anderson or Gahey or Odugi or Botman. No, not Botman. Who was I going to say then? Who's a 4.5 who rotates? Mings. And they're so much cheaper than Shaw. And Ederson's 5.5 mil is ridiculous, because he might not even start. He might get a surprise benching for Ortega yet, so I wouldn't even go Ederson. And City don't keep clean sheets very often. Also, like I said, Eze I don't like. I think there's a couple fires. I think your core players, as I've said, I'd go very template, go very sensible start the season. I think figure out 2 players you fancy as differentials. So Maddison's a differential, there's one. And then maybe have, a bit like what I've done, go for your Joe Pedro, your Haaland, because Joe Pedro's going to do well. Go for your over Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, Matoma, Saka, Rashford, Bruno, Matoma, any kind of lineup you want there. Or you could have Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, Bruno. And then for your striker, go for either the likes of Jackson, Alvarez, Watkins, or maybe a differential. So if you have Diaby, you want a differential. And then obviously you're going to have the 4 mil defender on the bench. And obviously you can have a strong mid on the bench like me, and maybe have Jackson. You could have Jackson. If you went for a similar team like me, you could, not my exact team obviously, nowhere near my exact team, but my point is, if you was to go for, let's say, a Nano, a Estupiñán, and Gabriel, that's template. Chilwell bench, and then obviously start a 4.5 mil from Crystal Palace game week 1, any Crystal Palace defender. Anderson's my favourite. And then everyone's going to have Martinelli, Rashford, Saka, or Saka, Rashford, and Odegaard. So those are your core players. Everyone's going to have Matoma, so that's probably a core player as well, but you don't have to have him because you'll have Joe Pedro. So you could have Diaby there instead. And then your bench can just be another 4 mil defender to the with the 4.5 will be on your bench game week 2 for Chilwell. And then you could have 4.5 mil midfielder in Chukwuemeka, or you could have Garnacho at 5 mil, because Garnacho is quite good at 5 mil. That's assuming you only have Onana, Rashford, and not Onana, Rashford, Bruno. My point is, the drafts need very tinkering, so I'll write in the Discord what I think you should do. What my personal thing you should do. Right now. Toma. Maddison I don't mind for you. Darwin I would replace with J. Pedro. And Watkins, I would either go Watkins or Jackson. And you can go Diaby over Matoma. So I hope that helps with your team. And if everyone else has got any more questions, we're still doing quickfire questions. We're still doing loads of questions, so people want to get the questions in the chat. To Onana, Eze to Matoma, Nunes to Jackson, and got 1 mil in the bank. I'd also do Shaw to a Crystal Palace defender at 4.5 mil to play first game week, like Anderson or Gahey, and then go for Chilwell game week 2. Or do the opposite, have a 4.5 mil instead of Chilwell and play Shaw game week 2, but I would not have to double up on Man United defence. And then for your 4.5 mil mid that's on the bench, you could go for Garnacho, which I think is quite a good pick for Man United. No. Short to a 4.5 mil, either Udogie, Anderson, Gahey, Mings are the four I'd go for. But personally, I would go for Anderson or Gahey, as you can play Anderson game week 1 or Gahey game week 1, for example, and bench Chilwell for the Liverpool fixture, and then play Chilwell from game week 2 onwards and bench that 4.5. And also doing that instead of Shaw would free up another mil, so you'd have 2 mil spare. And then I'm assuming you can do, because obviously you'd have Jackson. If you put Joe Pedro in, you'd have like another 2 mil spare, I'm assuming. 1.5 is 3.5 spare. Which is then you could upgrade one of your bench midfielders to Diaby and have an extra midfielder like I've done. Or go for a mount or a punt. Or you can just go Jackson and maybe go for Mudryk on the bench. There's a lot of options, but I try and keep it very template. So the players you need are Estupiñán, Gabriel, Chilwell, a 4.5 defender that starts first game over Chilwell. Matona, Saka, Rashford, Martinelli, Odegaard, Bruno or Diaby. There's the mixes for the midfield, but Saka, Rashford and Martinelli are the core midfielders I think you need minimum. Joe Pedro's definitely someone I'd be putting up from with Haaland. And then you can have one of Watkins or Nkunku if you only play 4 in the midfield. But that would be my picks. Short to 4.5 mil, then 6.5 mil, you can get a BMO from Chukwuemeka. Yeah, you wanted to do that, you could do that. And have another 6.5 on the bench, yeah. Because then you could bench... who could you bench? You could bench Jackson game week 1 for Mbumo. And then you could play Jackson game week 2. Or in fact, you could bench Watkins game week 1 for Mbumo and start Jackson. Because Jackson's probably got a better fixture because Chelsea are at home. Compared to Watkins, who's away. So that's probably going to be better for you. It's tough though. My draft's still tinkering. I need to see if I'm going to switch the forwards there. To be fair, I don't know yet. I might end up on deadline day tomorrow going, oh yeah, maybe I don't want Joe Pedro, maybe I want Jackson, but doubtful. Joe Pedro's been my punt since like 2% owned, and now he's like, yeah, there you go. Joe Pedro's 18.7% owned now, so he's not even a differential. But he was a differential when I had him, so it is a bit annoying. All the best, all of us will see. Yeah, see you later, Petite, mate. Have a good one, mate. Slay should be back now and again soon. We ain't going to be long, to be honest with you. We're probably going to be on it for another 45, maybe an hour, most. So if everyone wants to get their questions in, we're going to be just doing questions, I reckon, today. We've talked a lot about the players and why we've done. We're still doing questions and team reviews and whatnot, so I think we're mainly going to focus on that today. So if anyone wants to get your team reviews and whatnot in. And also, if everyone's interested in joining the Discord, I'll get the main Discord link in. Well, I say the main Discord, it's not the main Discord, but this will be the Discord we'll use for everyone. So I will post the Discord link in the chat now. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, best 4.5 mil defender, in my opinion. Oof, I'm going to get a lot of stick for this opinion, because everyone's going to go Mings, Udogie and whatever are the best 4.5 mil defenders, but for me it's Anderson. That's only because I'm rotating with Chilwell game week 1. But if you're going for a best 4.5 mil defender long term, that you don't mind his bench cover. Now, for me it would be Udogie, but he's not going to get clean sheets for Spurs. You'd more rely on the attacking returns for him as a 4.5 mil defender. I do like Mings though. Mings can get quite a few clean sheets and good attacking returns, so he's a really good 4.5 mil defender. I think those are like the 4 I'd be at. Either, three, Anderson, Udogie or Mings. Any of them are really good options, and they're all nailed. Anderson, Mings and Udogie, they're all nailed. Udogie will play left back for Spurs. Should be absolutely nailed on. And he's only 4.5 mil. So it's a pretty good pick. I've posted the Discord link for all of you. For anyone who wants to get in the Discord link. But to be honest, let's just check what's going on Wires online quickly. Oh, there's been a last minute Kane offer. And Caicedo's to Liverpool for 15 mil, not bad. Not bad, not bad. Right. Anyways, lads. Yeah, as I said, Roku, I don't mind that 4.5 mil at all. 4.5 mil, as I've just said, are pretty much the ones to go for. I am quite interested to see. We'll do one now. Everyone wants to post, anyone who's in the chat now, all of you post your favourite picks, your favourite differentials. Anyone you're considering, anyone who you think is going under the radar and you're considering, I'll give you a review on him and whether I think is a good option or not. Because I think that'd be something pretty decent to do right now. Get everyone involved as well. Another player, actually, I'm going to say, Roku, who I think would probably actually, same word of like just, would be the best 4.5 mil defender who's nailed on. Colwell. Absolutely Colwell. Nailed on. Week in, week out. Nailed on. If I was going Shaw instead of Chilwell, then I'd have Colwell instead of Anderson. But I'm not going Shaw. I love Luke Shaw, but I can't do the double up. Give me 1 sec, lads. I just shut the ones up. What's that, man? Back to topic. Also, I am quite interested to see what you lot think the best captaincy options are, because from what I've been looking at from data and statistics and whatnot and point predictions, I think it's, from my data, it's a toss-up between... Rashford's in the mix, but it's a main toss-up between Haaland and Saka. I'd be lovely to captain Rashford, but because Haaland and Saka on penalties, they edge it more on the stats. Now, Haaland not going captain, if he pops off game week 1, your rank's absolutely effed for a couple of weeks. But then if he doesn't absolutely go off, and Saka does very, very well and gets a double-digit haul, then you'll laugh him. And I do think, what's Haaland's ownership? 87%. And what's Saka's ownership? 58%. So really, there's a, 29% ownership difference? And everyone does have both. But captaincy-wise, you probably wouldn't be affected too much captaining Saka. If you got, let's say, 2 points less than Haaland, you wouldn't probably be affected a ridiculous amount. Even like 4 points, you probably won't be affected too much. And it's a risk you take. And it really wouldn't affect you ridiculous amounts. But the question would be, is Saka going to absolutely go off and get 2 goals, for example, versus Forest, or get a goal and 2 assists, and Arsenal win 4-5-0? He could go off. He could absolutely dominate that game. But then at the same time, Haaland's got Burnley. Promoted side. I don't think they're going to do ridiculously well first game of the season, even though they're a promoted side. I think they're going to concede an absolute mess of goals. Mohamed Darami from Ajax to Burnley is one to watch. Also, kudos to Brian if it happens. Mohamed Darami. Oh yeah, from Ajax. Is one to watch. Also, kudos to Brighton. Kudos. You on about... hold on. Let me check. I'm just going to make sure this is the... Kudos, I think you're on about. Oh yeah, here it is. hour ago, there's been a thing saying the deal has collapsed. Brighton set to miss out on a landmark signing due to personal terms issues. So basically, Mohamed Kudus is not going to be going to Brighton due to what that's just said online from an hour ago. So that's out the window anyway. Wouldn't have been a bad midfielder for him. He's not a bad midfielder at all. Quite good CDM, Kudus is. Not bad for Ajax. I'm going to ask as well, everyone's in here. Who are you lot? I'm quite interested to see who you lot think is your favourite Liverpool pick. Because my favourite Liverpool pick, for me, I love Gakpo as starter. I love Jota. But for me, my favourite pick for game week 2 is Luis Diaz. And the reason it's Luis Diaz is because every time Diaz plays Bournemouth, one, he's Klopp's favourite, so he's going to start. And every time he plays Bournemouth, he absolutely goes off. He absolutely goes off. I think he got like 2 goals and like 3 assists or something silly, or 2 goals and 2 assists versus Bournemouth last time. I can't remember, to be honest. I'll have a look. He got like at least like a 15-point haul or something on FPL. He did very well. So if we pull up the recent... There you go. Diaz scored 2 goals, 3rd and 85th. And I think he got like 2 assists or something. He did ridiculously well. So there was 2 goals, there's 10. Plus his 2 points. He probably wouldn't have got bonus points. He would have got a couple of assists. So he probably would have been at like 15, 18 points. Nice to see you back, Fabio. Wouldn't have slaves, but he probably got 15, 18 points last season, Diaz, on that fixture. Which is absolutely mint. So I think if he's fit, and he's not injured, which he isn't at the minute, he's fit. So as long as he doesn't get injured on the first game week, which Diaz can do, and he starts that first game, I could see him absolutely going off game week 2. That's probably where my money would go, if I was going for a punt game week 2. I am tempted to just start with Diaz over Diaby. Maybe, and then just play Diaz game week 2. That could be viable. And then just bring Diaby in game week 3, but I do like Diaby. The other option is have Diaby over Matoma and start. Have Diaz over Matoma and start Diaby. It's a bit of a pump. It does save me booking in the transfer. Because then I could also move to Diaby game week 3 off Diaz. So I suppose I'm going to be booking in the transfer either way. And if I move Diaby to Diaz game week 2, I'm only going to want Diaby back game week 3. So there's really no point me doing that. So if I want Diaz, I might as well put Diaz in now for Diaby. Yeah, I've just thought then, I might as well put Diaz in now if I want Diaz. Because what's the point of me putting him in later? As I'll have to bring him back in anyway. So it's going to be between Diaz and Jota. What do you lot think? It's going to be between Diaz and Jota for me. I like Jota a lot. But I just think if Diaz is fit, when you look at the history, if it shows me the game, it's not going to show me. I'm going to start for August, yeah, but if you look at... I'm just eyeing up that Bournemouth fixture. I'm just thinking, is he going to absolutely go off? I don't know how Jota is. 3.3. Surprisingly, McAllister's high owned, but I think he's going to sit deep. It's a bit of an iffy one. On paper, Luis Diaz should start. That's what I'm thinking. Is put Diaz on the bench game week 1 and then transfer him out game week 3, because if I start with Diaby, for example, and I want to do Diaby to Diaz game week 2, it's going to cost a transfer, and then I'm going to have to bring Diaby back in game week 3, so it's costing 2 pointless transfers. And it does allow me to wait and see what Diaby does, so I'm putting Luis Diaz in on the bench, I reckon. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think he's under 6% owned, isn't he? Well, he's under 10% owned. He'll be under 10% owned game week 2 most likely. Maybe a bit more than that, depending on how he does game week 1. But he should be good on the eye test game week 1. I just think it's a decent fancy. And if he does go off, then it'd be great. I do like Diaby still. I really fancy Diaby. So it's like, do I keep Matoma because I want Diaby? Or do I get rid of Martinelli to Diaby and play Diaz? Headaches. Just send me your team, Fabio. Have a look. So, we have in Fabio's team a Stupenham, Chilwell, Gabriel template. Nana template, Saka, Rashford template. Everyone's got a Martinelli. Obviously, you've got Diaby, Jackson, Haaland, and Son. I would probably start off with Luis Diaz and then move to Son game week 3. Probably is what I'd do. Also, I would definitely have Joe Pedro over Mbamba because Joe Pedro is going to be so ideal game week 1. He's already at like 20% owned. And he's 5.5 mil. That money saves you a lot in the long term wise. But I like the team still. It's pretty much what you had the other day. It's not much changes to it. I am still tossing and turning. I might have Diaz in. I might have Diaby in by the end of tonight. I don't bloody know. If you wanted Son game week 1, my opinion would be going Mbamba to Pedro with that 1 mil you've got. Playing Joe Pedro over Son or Diaby, your choice. Bench one of them. Would be my personal opinion. Or just go with one of them and then bring Son in later. I just think with Son, are you going to want to start him for the first 2 game weeks? No, you're going to want him in game week 3. So you might as well just have a 4.5 mil defender in, 4.5 mil midfielder instead of Son. Do Mbamba to Pedro, play Diaby, Martinelli, Rashford, Saka, Pedro, Jackson, Haaland. You'll have like 5.5, 6 mil in the bank or whatever. And then come game week 3 when you actually decide that you want Heung-min Son. If he's actually playing good and you don't want, let's say, Maddison instead, then you put that Spurs player in. I love Son. I've banged on about Son, but I said I wanted to see how he did pre-season. I know he did okay, but I think he was lacking a bit, and I still want to wait and see what Son does for me. It's a big what if. What if? That's a problem. It's really a wait and see. Kane's probably going to stay, but then if Kane leaves, he's going to be even better. So it's really a wait and see, Fabio. I don't think it's something I can be bang on the head about right now. I love Son. Really, really do love Heung-min Son. And I really fancy Heung-min Son, but it's hard. Right, Slade. I probably would go Son game week, maybe game week 3, if I wanted to transfer Rashford out for a punt. But then I'd be going against the whole grain and probably cocking myself up. So for me, I'm not going to go too risky. I think I've gone risky enough with Alvarez and Anderson. Hi, Slade. If you're back, you can clearly see I put Luis Diaz in for Diaby. I was just talking just and I looked at form and just based off what Diaz does against Bournemouth, I think he's going to dominate. And then I can just move to Diaby game week 3. Diaz will be a 1 week punt game week 2. But I'll have him for 2 weeks. Yeah, you can play Diaz game week 1 if you want, Fabio. And then go Diaby game week 3. I love Diaby though. I really want Diaby. And I think he's going to do very well. But statistically speaking, do I think he's going to do loads of stuff versus Newcastle? And I wasn't going to play him anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. And then game week 2, I'll have Diaz instead. And then I can bring Diaby in game week 3. So there's no reason at all that I should miss out on the Diaby train. Because you can't see him doing a lot game week 1. And he gives me the eye test to watch him. I can watch him game week 2 against Everton, see how he plays. I have the eye test then to watch how he does. And I know Diaz is a proven player. And Klopp really, really likes Diaz. So Diaz should start week in, week out. And against Bournemouth and under 10% owned. He's a big differential. And if it pays off in my favour, and he's still low owned versus Bournemouth, I would be looking very good. And if my Alvarez pump pays off, even better. If Alvarez goes and scores versus Burnley, I'm going to be over the moon. Like, I don't even mind, as long as Matoma, Saka, Rashford, Martinelli all do something, Alvarez does something. If Alvarez and Diaz, let's say, got equal points, I don't think I'd mind. Because Alvarez is an even bigger differential. As long as Diaz doesn't outscore any of my players on my team being on the bench, I don't really care. He's expected to outscore defenders, but that's pretty about it. But I don't really see him doing a lot versus Chelsea, to be honest. I think that game's going to be quite a tight game. I think Chelsea, for me, just edge it. I think a 1-0, 2-1 Chelsea, maybe, is probably where I'm at. But that's what I'm thinking at the minute. I'm getting headaches trying to pick players. The first game of the season is always the worst. Because you want to make sure you do very well first game of the season. Because then you have some form to pick up on and you can start being sensible and doing this. So, first game of the season is where I kind of try to have a couple punts that I know I've got security for. I've always got Diaz to back Alvarez up. If Alvarez didn't play a single minute, Diaz comes on. If Anderson went injured or did something daft, I've got Chilwell. You know, I've always got backups. I've got 1.5 million in the bank. And obviously, if I want to move to Watkins, which I do want to move to Watkins game week 2, if I want, well, I probably won't, but if I did want to, it's optional. I can do it. If I want Jackson, I can do it. You know, I've still got that option. And then I've also got Liverpool coverage for game week 2, so I wouldn't have FOMO worrying about Salah because I've got coverage for Salah. And that's the only really week Salah's good is game week 2. You know, I can't justify the 12.5 mil price tag. Yes, he might go and get a 16-pointer, 17-pointer game week 2, but his fixtures after that are crap, and the combined points you're going to get from all the other players, and the value you're getting in all the other players, and the ownership, way outscore Salah. So if you don't have Salah, you might be able to have Rashford, who's 50% owned, you might not be able to Saka, who's 50% owned, you might not be able to have Matoma, well, you probably would be able to have Matoma. You might not be able to have, let's say, Martinelli or Odegaard as well, and they're high owned. You might be able to have a Bruno if you want a Bruno, he's high owned, you know. They're all higher owned than Salah. So I just don't see how Salah's really going to affect your rank if he pops off, because he's not even that high owned, he's like 20-something%. I was saying earlier, Saka's 59% owned, and I saw someone earlier who didn't have Saka in the draft. I was thinking, hold on, this lad's not got a stupid on, this lad's not got Saka. What's he doing to his rank? So I said to him, get them in straight away, they're essential. I know it feels like you're forced to have them players, but you need to have them. It's like Haaland with Saka and Estupiñán for me is like Haaland and Rashford. If you don't have them 4 core players in your team, you're going to be making a massive mistake off the beginning of the season, and that's not something you want to do. So I'm trying to be sensible about it. Wow. That's quite funny. Someone just keeps going on about Mitchell being an option. I'm quite happy the stream's been quite relaxed today. We've not had any issues, surprisingly, today, which is great. No bots or nothing, or no people being absolute dumbos today, which has been great. It's been quite relaxed, to be honest, this stream. I'm very happy with the way it's gone, lads, to be fair. It's been great. It's been a while, to be fair, since we've been able to whack out pretty much when we're finished a good 2 hours, which is great. We'll do some quick fire questions again now everyone's back, so if everyone wants to whack in, Fabio, Slay, anyone in the chat, anyone who's new, welcome lads. We're doing basically a quick fire question round again. So pretty much another 20-15 minutes, just bang on, whack your questions in, whack your teams in the Discord. If I get Slay to post the Discord link in again for me, Slay. I'll review your teams, whack your questions in, we'll get everything answered now. We'll try and bang out as much as we can today, because if I don't get a deadline stream tomorrow, and we do Discord call and Discord to everyone, I want to try and whack it as much as I can today. But tomorrow, Slay, if I don't do a live stream, I will do a Discord call in the Discord, and we'll talk through with you about it, and I'll put some message in the Discord, Fabio and whatnot, if they don't want to be in the call. Predictions for Prem. Okay, right, so my predictions for the Prem are, I don't know, probably City are probably going to win the Prem, but I'll say top 4. So my top 4 predictions are Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea. My top 6 predictions would be The same four I've just said, obviously, and then Tottenham and... No, not Tottenham, sorry, Liverpool and Brighton. I fancy Brighton for top 6. Top 8 would be the same I've just said, and obviously I'd add Spurs in and Newcastle in. And then I wouldn't really mention the rest because it's pointless. Forest will probably finish top 14 just because my family's Forest fans, so I'll say no. And for relegations, I think Everton will get relegated. I think Wolves probably would just be about safe, but they should get relegated in my opinion personally. So I'll say Everton. I do believe that Luton are going to stay up, so I'm not going to say Luton relegation. I think Crystal Palace are going to be in the relegation mix again. I think they'll be down there-ish to start the season when they start playing up. And who else do I think is going to be in the mix? Sheffield are going to be in the mix, definitely. Burnley, they're going to be there in the mix. I do think Fulham are definitely going to be in the relegation mix. But if I'm going for 3 relegation teams, I'm going to go for Bournemouth, I'm going to go for Everton, and I'm going to go for Sheffield. Those are my 3 relegation picks. I'm not saying Luton because I just don't think Luton are going to get relegated. Now they might have a crap season and they might get relegated. I'll look at Mognay, but I just don't think they are going to get relegated. I just think they're going to try and hold out for draws. So will Sheffield though, but I just think Luton for me slightly a better team than Sheffield. But we'd have to see how things go. Where did Luton finish last season? Oh, there you go. So Luton's first time ever in the Premier League, and obviously they finished second or whatever last year. I can't remember where they finished. But I just don't think they're going to get relegated. I don't know. I think they've got an okay team, to be honest with you. But we'll have to see. A lot of people are backing Luton to get relegated. I don't think they will. I also think that Chong, who's just left Birmingham, we got a payback clause for him as well when they sold him from Man United because of contract. We got like 2 mil or something. But he's really, really good, Chong is. He was very good for Man United too. He was good for Birmingham, to be fair. He weren't bad. I think though, if we had him back, he'd be quite good. We sold Langer as well this year to Forest, so Forest got a little bit of a boost. There's been a couple of good players in the transfer markets. I wonder how many of you have got Mbeumo, to be fair, in here. I know he's only like 10% owned now because of the flag, but it was only a dead leg, nothing major. He's been back in training, running, far as I'm aware, perfectly fit and should be starting that first game. And he's on penalties. So I don't mind going Mbeumo, to be honest, over Matoma. If I don't think having 2 Brighton assets is worth it, because it's not, I don't think Matoma's good, and I don't think Matoma's not going to kill my rank if I have him, because he probably will. It's just, is Matoma going to be the person you're going to want to have to put out fires for come game week 4? But I'm probably going to wildcard game week 7 or 8 anyway, so I probably won't have to worry about that as much. So I can probably just cover that with my bench players and transfers, to be honest, so probably would end up keeping Matoma. I don't mind Diaz though, I do quite like Diaz. I do quite like Diaz. And I could also go Matoma. I'll probably do Matoma to Diaby game week 3 and maybe keep Diaz if Diaz does well. I do like him. I don't think it's a bad idea to have a Liverpool attacker. I think he's the only one for me that I think is probably actually going to be nailed for guaranteed. Gakpo and all that, you say yeah, should. McAllister, he will be nailed, but he's like 14% owned. He's only 6 mil, McAllister. But I'm putting him down as an avoid because I think he'll sit deep. McAllister's a great player. If he was playing on that like number 10 role, playing that wing role for Klopp, then he'd be a very good player. And he's still going to be a very, very good player and he will get attacking returns, but he's going to be sitting deep. But he's like 15% owned, I think. He's 6 mil then, McAllister's. So he's 1.5 cheaper than Diaz. So it is another way into the Liverpool attack. But I just think Diaz is proven in that Liverpool side. And it's Bournemouth. It's just Bournemouth. They beat them 9-0. I know they lost last. That was a bit of a crap thing for Liverpool, but they beat them 9-0 before that, and it's at home, I believe, again. For Liverpool. I believe Liverpool are at home. I imagine so. There you go. Liverpool's at home. That's quite funny. The table on the Premier League, when they put them in random spots, has got Bournemouth at the top. That's the only time they'll ever see Bournemouth at the top in their life. It was on the automated picks. It's quite funny though, to be fair. I think Man United have a very good. Someone come in earlier and absolutely slagged me off. I said there's no chance of Liverpool finishing top 4. And I said, oh, Man United are title contending this year. I think we could possibly win the league. Which is not a lie. I do think we're title contending this year. I do think we're up there to win the league. And I think if we could pull an absolute 1-over on City, and we beat City and Arsenal in our games against them, we will win the league. I wasn't sarcasm. I think we'll finish top 3. You know, I said top 4, but I think we'd probably finish 3rd or 2nd. It's quite funny though when people. This is what's hilarious, Slay, when you went there earlier. It's quite funny when you get dissed for having an opinion. It's quite hilarious. I've got my opinion. You don't like it. You know where to go. Simple. Don't like my opinion. Don't be in the chat politely. I love everyone being in there. I love chatting to all. I love talking FPL, but don't come in here just going to be toxic and negative towards my opinions. Do you know what I mean? But I think we're going to finish 2nd or 3rd. I think we'll do well. I know Arsenal are going to be in the mix again, but I just think we're going to do well. That Discord's hilarious. I do think we'll finish 2nd, 3rd, maybe. I think we're there for 1st. I think we're contending for 1st, and I would not be surprised if we was to pull one over and win the league. And I'm saying it now because I think it's possible. I think those first 6 games, we should win them games. I'm saying it now, we should win every single one of them games for me. Wolves, we're at home, we'll win. Spurs, we should beat. Nottingham Forest, we'll beat. Brighton, we'll beat Brighton. We'll beat Burnley. And I think we can do Arsenal. If we can win them first 6 games. And that's why I'm looking at it thinking, damn. You know, we're going to win, we could probably win them first 6. We should minimum win 5 and draw maybe 1 against Arsenal or Spurs, but we should be beating Spurs. We'll beat Crystal Palace, we'll beat Sheffield Wednesday. We should be beating Brentford if we're at home. I don't know if we are though. Fulham, Luton, Everton, we'll beat them. Easy, Fulham, Luton, Everton. Man City, we can easily contend, and we could possibly beat Man City if we had a good game. So what I'm saying is, if we can actually perform the way I expect us to perform, there's no reason we don't make top 3 minimum. We're even contending for league. And those fixtures for me, those first 16 fixtures are not bad fixtures. If I was to reiterate my picks now, right, I'd say we're going to win the first 4 minimum. No, 5, sorry, out of the first 6. So you just go based off 16 fixtures. 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins there. I reckon we'd probably beat Newcastle. I reckon we'd beat Chelsea if we're at home. We should beat Newcastle. I reckon we'll beat Chelsea as well. We should beat Chelsea. Arsenal, I reckon we can do Arsenal. Man City. So let's say minimum, I reckon we're going to get 12 wins, maybe 1 loss, and 3 draws in the first 16 games, is my prediction for Man United. Based off those games. I'd like to sit and say we could win all 16 and be an overconfident arse, but I ain't going to. So I'm going to say 12 wins, 3 draws, and maybe a loss. But it might be 13 wins and 3 draws, depending on how we play. But we should be absolutely bossing it. And I just think, to be honest with you, I think, personally, City could lose that game against Arsenal. City could lose that game against Aston Villa. City could lose that game against Liverpool. City might lose that game against us. I'd back us to win that. And I think City are going to lose versus Newcastle game week 2. I think there's going to be absolute episode and Newcastle are going to win. I don't trust City for clean sheets. I don't. Everyone's raving on about Gavardiol, bloody Stones and whatnot. They're not going to keep clean sheets, so I don't know why everyone's banging on about them. You're going to concede to Burnley, for one. I don't care what anyone says, they're going to win like 6-1, 5-1, 4-1, whatever. They're going to win it by a massive margin, but they're going to concede 1 goal. They always concede 1 goal. A silly goal, penalty, free kick, something daft, corner, they'll concede a goal. It's City, they always do. They're not reliable for clean sheets, one bit in my opinion. And I think they're getting very, very overhype the City defenders. Same with James, man. The fact that James is higher owned than Chilwell, sorry, is an absolute disgrace. Man's made of glass. Do you know what I mean? He's made of glass. You know what I mean, Slade. You know what I mean, Fabio, if he's still there. That he's made of glass. Alright, what are we on? 7:30. Alright. Well, tell you what, lads. We'll go another 3-4 minutes of questions. So everyone wants to get your last questions in. We've got last like 5 minutes or whatnot. So if you all want to get your last questions in, then we'll be getting off soon. So if you boys want to get your last questions in for the last 5 or so minutes, Slade, Fabio, any questions, any team things, get them in now for me, please. Anyone else has got any questions, whack them in the chat, Discord, whatnot. Get everything in now within these next 5 or so minutes. We'll bash that all out. If you haven't got any questions, we'll talk in a couple of minutes and we'll get gone, because we are going to get gone soon, lads. So if anyone's got any more questions or anything, you'd like to put them in the chat now, and we'll get through them all. This transfer is not live. Wait for you to get questions in. If anyone's got any questions, like I said, get them in now. That's like 5 whatever minutes, so get them in. And if not, we'll get gone soon, lads. We've done a good hour and 40 odd minutes, so we've done a decent stream today. Like I said, not long off the 2 hour mark, so not a bad stream. Enjoyed having you all as well. So it doesn't seem we're getting any more questions, so I think we're going to get gone. If you lads want to message me in the Discord later as well. So yeah, boys, cheers for stopping by, Fabio, Slade, Pratik, all the mods, thank you for being in. Roku, it was nice to see you, mad. FPL Mez, great, nice to see you, lad. And everyone else who was new today, and a couple of subscribers, thank you all very much appreciated. It's nice to see some new faces in the chat. I have to get used to boring Slay all the time, no offence Slay, I've been a bit of a joke. But same, right, I'll see you boys Saturday, Sunday, definitely, with streams midday. And also, we might be live tomorrow. If not, if I'm not live tomorrow, if I decide I haven't got time, I'm too tired, or I can't be bothered coming on for live because I've got all the stuff to sort out for the live stream, I'll get a link in the Discord, post it out everywhere, get everyone in the Discord, and what I'll do is I'll do 10-minute group calls. So I'll do 10 minutes speaking to Slay about his team, 10 minutes speaking to Fabio about his team on the call, 10 minutes speaking to Petit, 10 minutes speaking to so on, okay? And also we're going to start doing calls and getting people on the live with me on Discord and whatnot soon. But anyway, I'll see you boys when I see you on the lives, and yeah, peace lads, and I will see you boys tomorrow.